Well, welcome back to our good TGY channel here. It's kind of funny. I'm falling into a rhythm. I'm wearing my martial arts stuff again. It's like Tora Jutsu Tuesday. That's the martial art I train in. And in fact, today's lesson is going to come from the East rather than from the West. Today's lesson, we're talking about a principle called try softer. So this is a principle that's an old principle taught by one of the masters in my system who's passed away back in I think it was 1995. His name was Shen Sheng Yun. He has a cool history. He moved from China into Okinawa actually and married into a family, the Tanaka family. And they combined his art with the Tanaka family's art. And that's where this art came from that we train in. One of the teachings that he taught was the try softer principle. This is a very interesting principle for us Westerners to consider. We talk a lot about try harder to get better grades, right? Kids are feeling tremendous pressure to get the best grades possible so they can get in the best school and all these things. And I get it. Achievements are important. Excellence is important. These are great principles. I understand that. I myself am an academic and pushed myself very hard in grad school and got results from it, right? So I get that. However, this concept of try softer is a concept that we can apply to multiple areas of our lives, even academics, work, relationships, problem solving, project completion. The idea with try softer is to use just the right amount of effort to get the task done. And I'm not talking about using the least amount of effort. I'm not talking about a lazy approach at all. I'm talking about an efficient approach. I'm talking about an approach to life that allows you to kind of live in the present, plan for the future, learn from the past, and be mindfully moving forward using the right amount of effort without being frantic. So trying softer is tied to the concept of non-attachment, definitely. It's tied to the concept of impermanence, that we recognize that things in life do tend to shift and change. And when we're trying softer, we can adapt to those changes, whether it be in health or age or life or relationships or career. Things are constantly in flux and flow. When we have a try softer attitude, we're more easily adaptable to the changes that life throws at us, right? We have very little that we actually have control over. One of my favorite life coaches would always say that control is an illusion. And I totally agree with that. I mean, we can't even control how much hair we keep on our head, right? So, I mean, maybe to a degree, but generally speaking, can you take thought and by thinking about it, make yourself a foot taller? No, you can't. That was another great teacher that said that, right? So the try softer approach is thinking about things in a mindful manner and being flexible and adaptable, giving just the right amount of effort. What do I need to do to give this particular problem the right amount of effort to move forward on it without spinning my wheels? An analogy for try softer is, how do you get your car out of a snowdrift, right? You have to apply just the right amount of pressure, just the right amount of gas on the pedal, on the accelerator to get it to catch traction and move again. If you just jam on the gas and spin your wheels, you actually create ice under the wheels and dig yourself deeper into the snowbank, right? So trying harder when you're stuck in a snowdrift will only lead to being more stuck. I think there is a universal principle there to consider. When we're looking at the try softer principle, it's about the right amount of efficient effort that has the ability to adapt and flow and change to the necessity of the situation, right? If you have a kid who's off track, try softer with them. Don't try harder with them. If you try harder with them, they're going to turn their back on you, give you the bird, and be like, especially when they're teenagers, I don't want to hear that, mom and dad, right? But if you can stop and be softer and say, hey, tell me how you're really feeling. What are you actually going through? Then you might actually create moments where the softer approach opens up lines of communication. So you can see that the try softer approach can work in our work relationships and situations, our private relationships, our family relationships, our marriages, our significant others. It can help within our own minds. When we're too hard on ourselves, we tend to burn out and experience burnout. If we try softer with ourselves, we can give ourselves the rest we need. I am a huge fan of the daily power nap. If I can fit it into my schedule, a 15-minute power nap somewhere in the middle of the day creates a massive renewal that gives me the mental energy to continue through the many rigors of the rest of the day, right? That's a try softer principle. A person who's trying harder would say, "Oh, I never have time to take a nap." Well, you're in charge of your schedule. Make a change, right? Own your schedule, try softer in it, and see if you can create a place for rest in your day. So there's a lot of concepts around this, and we'll develop this one too in future videos. What questions do you have about try softer? The challenge that we're putting out there for you is to think about the try softer principle juxtaposed against the very common try harder principle that really does lead to burnout and excess. How much do you really need, right? How about the right amount of effort to get the job done? That's a thing to think about. So there you go. There's your thought for the day. We'll talk to you soon. I guess it's Total Jutsu Tuesday. Here we go. Maybe I'll make this a thing and do this every Tuesday before I jump into class. So we'll talk to you later. Thank you.